Welcome to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew. And today we got our 25 days of Christmas. Today is day 23. Ooh-wee, let's see what the energies are going to be. Let's get some sage up in your life. Hopefully you will enjoy the vibes in the back. And I'm excited because as soon as the 25th hits, I'm going to give y'all a couple extra readings throughout the day because, hey, you might need to have some information that you need to know. And then we're going to be pushing out the readings, in that null zone before we get to that New Year's. And I'm excited for us because I feel like we've been trying to be the sunshine in the wintertime, and we've been doing a pretty good job. I think we've been seeing a lot of beautiful things, a lot of sunlights, twilights, a lot of changes. But it's really because instead of letting the year go by and us just experience change, we've been calling our energies back so we can make a new plan. We've been realizing that we can recast our old selves into new movies. We can cast new movies for an old self. We can help each other understand each other. And all of this is just us helping ourselves understand parts of ourselves. So that's really been the juice. That's been the energies. Yesterday was some pretty good energy with us really just feeling so good about the vibes that's going on. I think we're starting to be appreciative of the energies that we have that have returned to us. Whether we resonate with those energies or not, it's a version of me. I might not agree, but we are the same. So we are the same, and guess what? I've learned, I've grown. I might have like secondhand embarrassment on certain things still, but at the end of the day, I can accept all parts of me and all the things that I went through, because if that is still embarrassing to me now, years and years later, guess what? How did I handle it then? Oh man, I'm a tough person. I'm a pretty cool person. I'm a pretty strong person. And that is the new ideas that we're bringing to ourselves of old. We're helping ourselves see how easy it is just to speak life into ourselves, because we remember back in the day when we got over obstacles, when we were hard on ourselves. I'm not saying don't be tough and try to motivate you to get yourself going. What I'm saying is the essence of what you bring to yourself has to have a positive core. It has to be optimistic. Even if it's mean, you got to understand that at my core essence, I'm here for you and I'll always have your back. That is you to you, even when you don't feel like you resonate with that old self from way, way back. It's crazy. But that's the energy of today. We're seeing ourselves and we're trying to learn how to be okay with the things that we're okay with. These are just new things that are happening for ourselves, which is why we got to be okay with things being new. So let's see this a little bit more practically. Six of Potions wanted to show itself. So these are like old things. I like to always see this as old water bottles growing mold and stuff. You got cups that are just like toxic and tainted. Like if you ever have the Thoth deck, that is the 9 of Cups, I believe, is treachery. The 7 of Cups. Is it the 8 of Cups? Anyways, there's a pretty bad card in the Thoth deck. It's pretty bad. It's like toxic neon green wastewater That's kind of what I feel like with this, but it's a little bit softer. It's like mold and things growing in like bowls and dishes that you didn't wash or something like that. So let's see what the overall energy is. Oh, did y'all see that? I did. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, I got the message. It's pretty clear to me. Yes, it is. All right. So things matter. Geometry, that shit matters. A pyramid rolling down a hill is not the same as a ball. So shapes and things matters even when we're doing the same thing. And so because people have different shapes, we should be treating people differently. And so taking this basic analogy and applying it to energy, because energies are different, we should be treating energies differently. Excuse me. One thing that we can do to make all energies be the same is to apply a new point of view. So instead of identifying energies like a noun, we can go into the chariot energy, which is like a verb. So now we can see things in the point of view of movements and actions. And actions and movements happen in so many more places than we really care to think about. That's the cool thing about it. So this is actually your overall energy here. This is our overall energy card. I already saw it. I know what it is. Hopefully you saw it too. But this is the card that clarifies the overall energy. But we have access to the secondary energy, not the overall. We got details first. So this is like us getting fractions of life, and now we trying to make sense of what we have. This is what we have, and us making sense about it. But over here, this is what we got going on with this energy that we can peep. So what are we peeping? Well, anytime a card comes out like this and it's making like the middle bar for an H sign or the letter H, that means that it's happening in inverse and it is, well, reverse and upright at one time always. But because it's happening in up and down in one direction, we got to understand that it's going to be happening up and down in the opposite direction too. So things that are becoming better for you or things that are more external to you has to be met with things that are becoming worse for you and things that are becoming more internal to you. You got to understand that there's a dichotomy that operates between things that are variable or alternating. This is why in your microwave, it not only rotates, it also spins. Those microwaves have upgraded because now instead of needing the food to rotate, they can rotate the waves around the microwave or the plate now in the microwave. So it's still the same concept of getting a full 360-degree point of view of something by focusing on just half and half. I got 180 degrees of my backside, then I got 180 degrees of my front side. But then you have to realize that part of that creates, my lateral side, my shoulder side, my hips, the thing that connects the front and the back. This is what we're looking at right here with the shapes of this card, but this tower is connecting these cups energies and these cups energies. So it's beautiful because yesterday our energy was like we're feeling good because we're sneaking around giving out gifts and doing good deeds and stuff. So we had this energy that was in us that was helping us see certain things. But yesterday, I didn't do anything but give to myself. And I gave to myself in a way that I was just like, man, I don't really like what you're doing. But parts of me are just like saying, just value and appreciate it because I'm at the point to where what is on my mind are a lot of things of love for self. I've been realizing that I've been asking for reasons as to why I should do the things of old. That's been a major question for me moving forward. So for me, my answer is starting to come out as doing the things that I used to love with new reasons as to why. Well, sounds pretty simple, right? Yeah, but finding the why is what is difficult, and that's what a lot of us don't appreciate. This is why all of these cups are here. This is why the chariot card is showing us that we're changing cups. So in the case of us creating towers, what we're doing is we're creating towers for not us, but the emotions that we're carrying. So it's like the old emotions that are coming into us are being bottled up in new places. It's bottled up in new ways. It's bottled up in, new areas in the cupboard. But in with that, in with that, it also has three different magnitudes across it. So imagine having some black tea and then you just really enjoy black tea. I'm just going to use it as a simple liquid, right? And then you got like this that big old tub that's super diluted, regular light, you know, black tea. Then you got like your regular kind black tea, your general brands of black tea, your Lipton iced tea kind of thing, things that you can just go pick up and kind of know about. But then you also carry your special super concentrated black tea, you know, exported from this country over here, and you got to make it with this specific kind of tea kettle, and blah 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 blah. All the extra specific details that are tiny to most of us, but are impactful enough for you. You are seeing the multitude of each of these cups now, and so it sounds like you're bringing towers to yourself by you seeing you do certain things in certain ways that's allowing you to get new viewpoints upon the emotions of yourself. And this is really helping you change the parts of you that you feel are good with yourself, the parts of you that you feel are bad with yourself. It's allowing you to change perspectives because you can zoom in and out. You can take multiple perspectives. You are wise now. You have knowledge plus experience and the addition of others. The addition of others relative to your own, relative to what was accomplished by me, them, us together, and then somebody else all together. There's a lot more of variables we can think about, we can work with. There's a lot more different areas in the cupboard I can place a drink. There's a lot more than just what I need from concept of having something diluted versus something that's concentrated, and I can look at what is required for myself. So the things that are required for me, and like on a personal level, is that I just want to do certain things that I used to do because when I used to do them, I needed to do it to like feel like I was protected in the quit of what of the traumas of my life, the towers. I felt like I needed to quit things in order to like save my life at those moments. But because this moment isn't here in that same way, I'm looking at the case of, okay, what happens now? Well, what needs to happen now, for me at least, is to take the time to see the value of the different amounts of the emotional things in my life. The different amounts will help me understand what range of emotion am I applying this? How deep is that why? And if it's something that I have a lot of and it's super concentrated, you got to understand that that might be where your issue is. Just because you got a lot of something and it's potent doesn't mean that is what you need. But sometimes you might have something that's a little too diluted. Maybe you need to actually mix two things together. I got my country time lemonade and then I got my iced tea. And guess what? I'm going to make a lemonade iced tea, an Arnold Palmer. But it starts off separate in the cupboard. And then I put it together. So there is a new way that you're going to be viewing these emotions, and it's going to be things that are going to be brought to you, external towers, and it could be little things like, oh, I don't like the way that tasted. Oh, I wanted to drink more of this. Oh, I wanted to experience more of that. Then it'll be things that are brought up inside of you. Damn, a random thought just popped up when, you were embarrassed when you were, let's say a teenager, whatever. The emotional aspect of having that thing come out inside of you is the same thing of having that thing show up outside of you. We have to see if we have the emotional range to deal with the subject. And I think this is what's happening. But the cool thing about it is all of these energies are already in motion. Let's go to our overall energy again, because we got the details. The details are telling us that we're learning how to differentiate different perspectives of our own emotional selves. How are we doing that? Well, our overall energy say, oh, it's because we got the magic in me. I know that I can see things in a different point of view. I can create new perspectives about it. So not only do I have the ability to see different concentrations of these things, I have the ability to manipulate the concentration at hand. I can create dilutions. I can have series of small increments build up micro habits that create bigger pictures. I can go from 6 inches and not even change a step and call myself half a foot. Those things show us that there is a conversion of things that are translational. That's the idea of seeing things on a macro scale or on a micro scale as you're creating. But it's also the same thing of understanding the things that might be small that have a lot of influence on you versus the things that are small that means nothing to you. But if you can say that, then you can also say the things that are big that mean nothing to you and the things that are big that mean something to you. At the end of the day, you can do more than just be the one managing these different emotions in the middle. You can bring towers to parts of you, and you can put more value on parts of things that other parts of you don't give a damn about. Like, I don't care to run every day. But if I put a goal on myself because a part of me does care to run every day, then I can go back to a time where I made a song called Early Morning Run. Are you in? Right? That is the song of a Soul Spark Radio Season 2. And it was a time frame where I would this is my morning routine. I will wake up, do deep breathing, cut my alarm off, make my bed, and I was talking about how by literally the first step out my bed, I had already did like 3 things. My day was so productive, and I just took one step out of bed, and I was so productive. I was literally deep breathing. I was meditating. And then I took the step out of bed and made my bed. So I did 3 things before I even took my morning piss. And then I peed. Oh man, I'm on a roll. Then that led me to roll right into running. Now, those was the first thing I did, and I made a song that helped me understand how it felt when I was in that mode of running every day. So now, what matters more to me is not what I feel, which is I don't want to run. No, the other side of me feels it does wants to run. What do I have? Well, I have evidence of a point in time where I really enjoyed running every day, to the point to where I made a song to motivate myself to get up and do it every day. And guess what? I was so happy and excited when I was making the song, so every time I listen to the song, it gets me happy and excited. I feel like I should play it. I don't know if it'll get copywritten because of the song, but our clarity for that is exactly what I'm saying. We're looking at the things that can pull ourselves together. In this case, this is the Soul Spark Radio episode. And in this Soul Spark Radio episode, I am motivating myself to do the things that I know I loved. And at that time, it was running. So let me go ahead and play this for us because I think that it'll be very appropriate, especially with the Eight of Needles coming out. This is not like the Eight of Swords, which shows us confined within a space. This shows us pulling ourselves together through all of those different thoughts. If those thoughts aren't holding us back, those thoughts are actually pulling us together. We're treating it as if it was like what we call like critical, what, I don't know. When you're being constructive criticism, there we go. I don't know. I'm just always truthful, so I don't know. I'm always trying to be constructive. There's no reason not to be, so I don't know like why somebody want to bring somebody down for no reason. I don't know. Why would they not have a reason to bring them up? I don't know. But here you go. So, can y'all see that? There it is. Early morning, are you in? We don't listen to that. This is Soul Sparked Radio. Ruck P. Chill hop music. This episode came out June 8th, 2022. Let's get some clarifiers. Let's get some clarifiers as we listen in.
Almost 1,000. The other two had 300s. Yeah, this is some shit I would listen to in the early morning. So if it's the early morning, listen to it. And if it's not the early morning, just think of it. It don't matter where you at, just be that shit.
It is early morning, just coming through, I gotta get my yawning. And then I take out my step. No, actually, I raise myself up, and then I get to meditating. Gotta go ahead and get to praying. Gotta get the day right. Gotta get up with the sunshine. Alright, with the birds nice. I'm feeling good today, so I get up and make my bed today. Woo, I got 2 things done, and I just took one step out my bed, you see. So I go ahead and take that morning pee, whoop. And then I jog, go ahead and run around the yard. I'm just trying to do this me, you see. I'm trying to be the healthy me you need. And you need me too. Because if I don't be the greatest, how about you? How can you be the greatest you if you don't understand everything you need and everything you do? Or that you need to do? Or what you seek to do? Go ahead and get yourself to a level so you can get to another understanding, so you can reach a what? An overstanding, so you can be a what? An understanding. Then you can make a move on your groove, and you can do what you want to, because you inspired by who? It's by yourself, so make a move. Make a what? Make a move. So inspiration is the tool. Make a what? A move. So inspiration is the tool. Early morning, I said an early morning, I said an early morning, rugby, whoa. I said an early morning, I said an early morning, I said an early morning, rugby. I got the beat for me, yeah. Hey, hell yeah, I fuck with this. RUCK space capital motherfucking P. This is off of Chill Hip Hop. Early morning, goddamn hell, motherfucking yes. Early in the morning, yeah. Repeat, woo, hell yeah, I fuck with this. Damn, bro, I was crazy then. So, all right. Damn, I came out strong.
Yeah.
Oh, so we'll find out what that is here in a second.
This sound
So let's look at some of these clarifiers. So clarifying our magician card is the list that we've been making and checking twice about the energies that's coming back, and we deciding if old parts of us are actually naughty or nice. We're looking at the pathway that we're going, and we're trying to find the best place for this person. We're trying to rehabilitate our energies of the past, and what that is met with clarifying our clarifier, which was we're using the magic to pull ourselves together. So we're using the magic of being able to look over the list of when we created the negative side and the positive side, and we're seeing which ones can shift over to the positive. And we're not judging the negative, we're just telling who is changing. You're here, you're an old actor for our agency. We got to put your old energy into a new movie, a new TV show, a new film. What is that clarified with? Well, that energy of pulling this old actor back together is met with the fact that this old actor has been doing things that has not been fulfilling them. They know it's wrong and they just do it. Vibrating on a higher frequency. That's what we've been trying to get this person to do, but because of the old list, they've been confined. They've been confined to some kind of like constraint. Maybe the old energies have been labeled bad because they just never had a chance to show how good they really were. Maybe you made a mistake in your judgment call as a 16-year-old, and now that you're 36, you realize that 26-year-old you and 25-year-old you and 24-year-old you got some pretty good experience realizing that 16-year-old you didn't really make a mistake because it happened again and again and again, and each time it happened again, you changed, so you realized that even when it happened the first time and it was felt like the worst, and it made you so conscious about the other things. Now, since you're 26, you're realizing other people in your life, strangers included, have experienced the same thing that you did at the age of 16. So now, those things that confined you are now able to pull you together. It's because you're tempering all of those experiences together and you're making new concoctions. It's like making suicide sodas or making blends. I got cranberry juice over here, but then I go into the fridge and I got orange juice and I got a cranberry orange juice mixer. It's the idea of being able to take not just my experience. Yes, it was rough for me, but it was rough for them, and if it was rough for them too, and they made it by doing this, and they were in the same spot, and they did those things, and they didn't do these things, I can start to do a lot of comparing. And guess what? The beautiful thing is, it's not us comparing ourselves, it's comparing the emotional capacity that we're carrying for the moments that other people can experience. If I had to input myself within this energy, what would happen? Perspective. And that's what this is. If we have this card here and it's upright, this is the Six of Candles. That means victory, right? Here, it's trying to find victory within yourself. The towers are going to fall, and they're only falling between the emotional areas within yourself. It's only falling between you. It's your emotional body. Maybe you might create emotional stimuli externally, but it all is stemming from your current. So currently, your mood is going to extend beyond your body and influence somebody else's mood. Water flows to water, right? It has to seek that level. So because water is trying to always equalize even between people, you got to remember that there is a form of water called water vapor. That means it's water in between us too. So emotions that are small and highly concentrated, like what we can see up here, versus water that we can drink down here, versus the combinatory aspect of water in things like tea and lemonade, We have to understand that it's us creating the tower based upon what we find victorious relative to the things we love. It's one you now who is able to see all the variety connect together. All of these layers of differences, which used to be good and bad, labeled on this list, now can be magically transformed into something that can help me because I'm not limiting myself to the things that will hurt me. I'm now realizing that I can create new things by tempering portions into a new victory of myself. In other words, new interest. New interest by old energies. Yes, I've always wanted to be a yoga teacher. Why? Because of the simple fact that every yoga class I go to, people are able to teach spiritually. They're there for that. But then I've gone to a couple because I was blessed with a really amazing couple of teachers at the beginning, and one in particular. And then I met others who just use it as a workout. And then I have others who are kind of like hybrid, where they give you a little bit of the spiritual breakdown, but then they give you more of the modern, I'm just here to work out feel and vibe. I'm seeing all the variety of those feelings of how people approach it, but none of it changes the fact that the teacher is the teacher and people receive whatever they receive. You just go to the class or not. People can come to me more freely as if I was a teacher, in the classroom or at lunchtime, let's say, and any other students can just come up to me because I'm on lunch duty. So I'm just being a person, they just being people, and it ain't nothing outside of don't do the dumb stuff that you're not supposed to do, and we cool. I can do a little bit of extra and push the boundary if you know how to be responsible, and don't do the stuff we don't want you to do. So don't hit nobody. Don't be, pushing and fighting, doing dumb stuff. Don't be throwing stuff. Other than that, if y'all want to go play, go play. If y'all want to get on your phone for a little bit, I don't care. Just understand that I will be accommodating if you have the ability to hold the boundary. Well, you got the ability to hold the boundary now because you know how to find victory within the things that you can find within yourself, such as the understanding that I can just be a person with the students at a certain time, and then I can just be the teacher at other times. Then I can be the tutor, which is kind of a cool, chill, more relaxed position. And then I can be coach, and now I'm like just an extension of their parents. I'm over here using profanities and things, and it's just like it's acceptable because it's the different status in the different areas. So what we're looking at now is how does all of this come together? This all comes together by not giving too much of yourself to situations that do not return that emotional favor. That's it. It's like you're not going to go and make something that you don't have, first of all, because you don't have it. But you're stopping to look at the things you don't have based upon the things you have on this list, and you're not going to waste your time on the things you don't want. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not a type of dude who wants to be in the gym lifting weights. I don't. I'll lift weights on the occasion. That's because I used to lift weights all the time. It's not important enough for me to do it all the time, and I'm damn well not about to go in there and just be lifting heavy for nothing. I will go heavier, but I was taught as a young man how to lift weights because I've been lifting them for so long and been meeting so many different people. I understand that variety, and I apply this same variety in the gym. This is why I know for a fact that this shit is applicable to everybody because I've learned this stuff from everybody else. I've just taken it and termed it, and now everybody else can see it as a standard. This is what soul inspiration is. So when I'm in a gym, you always do things at this rate. You do things at a small range, a big range, or full range, and then what we call or extended range, and then we got normal. So if I'm going to go normal or medium weight, then I got lightweight, then I got heavyweight. This is the template that we referred to yesterday. So it doesn't matter if you have a cup of tea, a cup of lemonade, You might have too much sugar in there, not enough sugar in there, or just enough sugar in there. You might have some chicken and it might be fried perfectly, it might be a little overcooked, or it might be a little undercooked. It is always this dynamic of three, but you now realize that you can use it to see anything. The first things you're going to be looking at are the things that don't help you grow. Let's read this so you can understand what I mean by don't let you grow. Because you're looking for the growth on the inside, but the inside is coming on the outside. So instead of looking for things to help you grow, look at what you have, be resourceful, and manage yourself properly. Manage your energies. So if I don't like being in the gym and I want to do yoga and I've wanted to be a yoga teacher so I can teach spirituality through it, but then I don't want to take the time or spend the money to do it because I've spent so much money on education, and then because I've already had this idea 2 different times before, it's all making it heavy. I feel like those things are going to be not helping me grow. But on the outside, those would be wonderful opportunities to keep me motivated. So I have to figure out why all of those things do not feel inspirational to me. And then I can jump down into even further examples as to why I don't feel. Well, I always felt the same way about being a personal trainer. And then guess what? I went and just took the test, became a personal trainer because I've had all the knowledge of coaching and teaching and doing this shit. So when I try to go into the industries don't need a person like me, and I realize that I'm not ready for the industry in certain areas. The layers. I've applied to commercial gyms and got the job no problem. I've had specialty gyms, for the individual, and then I've had specialty things that was just not for me. I just didn't have enough passion to sustain those things. I didn't have the passion to make it last on forever. That's the idea of having this tower moment. Like, I just knew that I could not sit there wanting to know and name all the different muscles and helping people and knowing alternate things. I'd rather do that with the mind. And so because I don't want to do that with the body, personal training isn't for me. But the type of personal training that would be for me would being able to use my words to help people change their mind, and in tune they would change their body. This is like me speaking and telling a person to move from downward dog to plank. I'm telling them what to do, they're thinking about it, following the command, and they're in a flow. And then I can teach them how to layer that flow, I think, a lot easier. And that would allow people to understand me at my depth, at my core, and see me at multitudes. But at the end of the day, still be able to be free and provide people whatever they need as I provide it. Meaning, in yoga, people go at their own pace. In weightlifting and personal training, you have a regimen that you need to obtain. You can make anything as hard as you want to, but if you don't learn how to do that, you can never do that. And if you're always dependent on somebody to tell you what to do, then you're always going to have this 6 of wands or victory in verse. You're always going to be searching for that seed that helps you grow and motivates you internally. You will never have that. So again, the reason why that's important is because this is the energy of what has been stopping us from using the details that we already know to cultivate the magic that we already have. We already know these things, but there's been a blockage. So what is the blockage? Well, it is the words that you have manifested in your life. It's the old magic that you've utilized. It is you using your energy. Sometimes it's been useful, sometimes it hasn't, but it's just the fact that it's been used up. So it either needs to be replaced, it needs to be exchanged, it needs to be cleaned out. Something needs to happen on the inside to where this value thing that keeps you inspired needs to change. Let's read. The King of Presents. Reverse. The King of Presents represents someone who doesn't have a healthy relationship with wealth. He is obsessed with accumulating it at any cost and lets his ego get tied up in what he owns. It may be time to take a step back and reconnect with who you are. All the presents in the world aren't worth compromising your authenticity. So exactly. That's a beautiful card to have in reverse, especially in context of what we got going on here. This is telling you that you do not feel connected to your purpose. You do not feel your why. So instead of living through these tower moments that are being caused by you and others, take a step to figure out the magic in you. Oh, but what is the magic in me? It's the ability to change what I've seen. You can go inside your mind and you can take a memory and you can say this was a bad memory just even thinking about it before even reviewing it. You just even consider the category and it's already making you feel a kind of way. Guess what? Go in there with the idea of saying, hey, I'm here. Boom! Breaking down the door. Everybody gets some love. I don't care what happened. Come give daddy a hug. Come give mama a hug. That's the energy you need to go into your memory bank with so you can start to be connected. You got to go in there and feel all of these emotions. But because you got the beautiful idea and technique and skill to now make things minuscule, that shit wasn't even a big deal, bro. Come on, me. I love you so much. Look at all the extra things you did and you still hurt. You did that. Your eyes was closed, bro, and look at all you did. Open your eyes and see. Excuse me. At the end of the day, you can say that all of that work, time, energy, and effort you put in there, yes, I know you was loyal. Yes, I know it made a big impact. Yes, I know these things was just so passionate for you, but that made you get nowhere. Look, it even tainted your health. What do? Well, you realize and recognize that you can have multitude of layers of all the things that you ever wanted ever. So if you're not dating, guess what? You can date a little bit. And that means just starting with what we call friends before you become my boyfriend or my girlfriend. You gotta be my friend first. So you can start off with just associating with social groups, societies, different aspects of you. But you can be okay now with putting up the boundaries and say, oh yeah, I might go to yoga 6 times a week and always be at the gym with my yoga people, but I might go lift weights at the gym twice a week. But I'll be in there doing cardio like 3 times a week. I can tell you the boundaries of when I'm going to be with the things that I enjoy doing, because at the end of the day, I want to also enjoy, outdoor recreation. I want to enjoy things like hiking and running and, climbing and things. So guess what? Because I put boundaries over here with certain bottles, I'm only going to drink, I'll have 1 drink a week kind of thing of alcohol, and then I'll make sure I have 3 things of tea a week, and then I'll make sure I juice every other night kind of thing. Like you can tell yourself the capacities of how much these things emotionally influence you. Again, I know I'm using different drinks, but I'm saying these are just different emotions, different experiences, different things that you've gone through. And because you've gone through them and they're different, they're just helping you see change. And when you see change, you won't be surprised by change, or you won't be surprised by the change you cause. Then you'll be able to put the right things in the right spots. You'll be able to prep and mix up the right things in the right ways. You'll be able to find out the reasons why you do things without the need to spend, without the need to be egotistical or, find external validation. You won't need to find those things because you have found it within yourself. Let's get a support card for this King of Pentacles in reverse. What can my people do to help themselves with this groove? So you gotta be open to new. Oh, yeah, exactly. You gotta be open to new. You gotta be open to new. Oh man. So you gotta be open to you really looking at the old energies within you in a new way. So for me, I just got offered a job right now. Old friend was like, "Hey, there's a teaching position. You can come back. You can teach. Here's the pay rate. Yada yada yada." What should I do? Should I stop doing what I've been doing? Because I know that if I took a teaching job, you know, I can be easily way more stable and just have things and just, you know, really probably help myself out and, be in a better spot. But then I also thought about all the work that I would have to do, all the time that I wouldn't have for you guys. But then I thought, okay, but if I can allocate the right emotions and values and apply them properly, I should be able to get enough love for everything. But here's the thing, I know that there's a point in time with teaching where I cannot control certain things and a I might have to give up a soda that I didn't want to. I might have to do something I didn't want to, and guess what? Now I'm missing something. Now there's a tower moment. And now I don't feel victorious. And now I don't know how to manage. And guess what? Boom. Maybe I'm in a negative state. Maybe I'm drained. Maybe I'm drinking. Maybe even if I'm still doing the things to pull myself together, I'm feeling like I'm in a confined state. So even though I know how to pull myself together, I know that the things I need to do in order to get myself in a good spot, I know I got the magic in me to make it happen, but because I don't put myself in this confined space to where I'm always in my head, I got to do all of this over here, then I got to try to figure out how to do all of that over there, that is it going to be worth it? Well, it really wasn't worth it for Sally to make Santa Claus suit, but halfway it was. Jack got what he wanted, and eventually he learned his lesson, but she got the chance to meet Santa Claus and really be the one to save the day. But was she reluctant to go in there and make that suit? Does she look like it? Absolutely. If I'm reluctant to go in there and be a teacher again for just half a semester, half a year, would that be beneficial or not? It's a seventh grade class, so that means that I can make value from now until the end of the year. The last time I did this, I did it for like the last 2 months of school or something. The last 6 weeks, I went in and I subbed for a school for the end of the year, and that was pretty cool. I got a chance to do some fun things, but this will be starting sooner. I didn't have that stress because at the time my only thing was I'm a substitute. This is a class I don't think is very hard. We're doing these fun, cool projects. This schoolwork is going to be most of your grade. We're going to have one test, and that's it. And it's just a test that you need to take in order to graduate high school. So like it was all beneficial. It was broken down in chunks. And when we had our free time, they did their thing, and I was like, I'm over here building my that is the time where I was writing the books for Respark Fitness Motivation. It was in schools and shit, bro. Like I was doing it with the kids and things around me, seeing it firsthand, understanding the things that I was saying, especially at this point in time, because this was like 5 years after that I already started, studying it and wrote the first book. So it's really about understanding like those simple dilemmas that I'm having now, but knowing that it'll put me in this space, knowing that I can transform again the things that are hidden. So again, I can probably take the opportunity and feel good about it, but guess what? Something is going to change and transform. It'll be my mind. So maybe I'll go back to like the feelings I had when I first started teaching and I loved it so much, regardless of whatever, opposed to the last couple of years when I just couldn't fucking wait to go home versus when I was substitute teaching and I loved being around school to school, but I hated the people that I worked with, the adults. Why? Because they would just be bitches. I come in for a little bit of time, all the kids love me, then I leave, and all they hear about is me afterwards. It causes a lot of this turbulence and death. So it's like, do I want to go in and participate in those things? Because if I go to the school and stay in this one spot, I know it's going to cause problems. Why? Because that's my biggest issue, and that's my biggest success story currently. Even though I be doing rideshare and I make a living off of that, plus everything else I'm trying to do. But right now, I make the living off the rideshare and services like that, Instacart and things. Because I make my living off that, my number one thing that I have that success is I don't have to go to a store I don't want to. I don't have to see fucking people I don't want to. So if I go to a store and I'm having enough problems with enough people, meaning I ask them like not to bag a certain way, and then they don't fucking listen. And then, they'll tell me I can't do something here, but then I do it all the time. So it's like this one person just wants to tell me some shit this one day. Like when people just want to flex their authority, they gotta remember that like even though I'm working here, I don't work for you nor with you. I'm just, you're a third party for me, and I'm a third party to you. And not necessarily a vendor, but because we have an association, we should have some mutual respect. Sometimes that just doesn't happen. And it creates discord because I don't have a boss telling me what the fuck to do. So I'm going to speak my mind and be authentically me, right? And I'm going to live in my truth. But if I go to a school, I might not be able to tell a kid you some bullshit. But I might tell a kid they some bullshit, and now I might be in trouble or might not, just depending on how professionally able I was able to display my disgust in that student at that point, or that parent, or that administrator or coworker or whatever. Because of that, I just know that like this is going to be the best bet. Instead of knowing that I can go in there and do the job, I've already put myself in a position where that job is not applicable for me through when I did private tutoring. So I didn't even have to do all the things that I did as a teacher, just had to go in there and help. And even that got to the point where it was just like, oh, this is some bullshit. You just get, it's the attitudes of other people. So when they're in places they don't want to be, it's hard to teach and want to give information to ungrateful people. So as I'm making the list, I gotta say, hey, teaching was a good thing, but now I gotta put that thing on the naughty list. But I used to like being in the gym, even though the gym is on the naughty list now. Let me put that on the good list, right? The nice list. But now instead of being in the gym as a sales rep, instead of being as the front as an administrator, instead of being in there as a personal trainer, instead of being in there as a fucking multitude of things, instead of being there working at the juice bar, I'm finally going to say, okay, let me go in there and try to teach a group fitness class, something that I haven't really wanted to do, but something that I did as a teacher, something that I did as a coach, something that I've done inside the classrooms, something that I did for groups online, something that I've done already in so many places, but it's been about finding that energy and swapping the right pieces around, finding the right space for the right emotion, finding the right amount of that emotion in that right space to where I know that I can still maintain and be completely authentic in all of my spaces. So, instead of going and trying to be the best yoga teacher ever, 50 years experience knowing all the moves and the poses, there's plenty of people who just do their due. And just like a teacher, I don't have to know how to teach everything. I can teach the subjects that I teach. I can specialize. I can get more concentrated in this part and less concentrated in that part and still do my duty. I don't have to be a general teacher. I can be a more specialized teacher teaching one subject, math, teaching one subject, algebra only, not geometry, not physics, or not statistics. I can just focus on the algebra, and then, or I can say neither one. I can go and be a history teacher focusing on civics only. When we make that list, we can start to see really the amount of power we carry. When we carry power in certain amounts, we got to understand that that power is fueled. The fuel is the emotion. So what fuels you, what fuels your life, what emotion that you're using, not only depends on where it comes from, how it is utilized, how much you got, but also if it's in the right balanced ratio. That is the key. So let me tell y'all something about this. Where this comes from is the balancing of neutrinos if you're to move across an energy beam or a light wave. If we ever wanted to travel, use light speed as travel, we have to understand that light is traveling at a speed that is orthogonal to itself twice. That means it's 90 degrees on 90 degrees, which means this creates what we call a vector equilibrium, and in this vector equalized state, this allows us to have differentiation, aka these three different concentrations, which creates the beam. The beam itself is just the layers of strings that can be occupied across a single ring, a noodle. But the noodle itself is layered on top of layered on top of layers, and as it's layering itself, it's creating a new version of itself, going from inches into half a foot, 6 inches into half a foot, into 1 foot instead of 12 inches. It's the understanding of how we're altering the perception of what we see. And so as we're beaming across the light, the only thing that needs to do is change whether we're in a particle state or a wave state. That means, are we bouncing or are we transversing through? Am I refracting off of something? Am I being magnetized into a certain way? Am I being an emitter of a certain wavelength? What part of the light am I being? Again, it's simple because it's only 3 parts. You got the electro side, you got the magnetized side, and then you got the light beam side. Those 3 things is what I'm talking about, which is the 3 different areas or dimensions that light can travel through. It's just different concentrations of energies, aka matter. Thing is, we have made a list about the things that matter. We've identified spaces where things can put value. I have taken my cupboard, that space, and I have divided it up and organized it and put certain things in certain spots, and now everything works together even though it's working separately. All the light comes together, all the electricity comes together, all the magnetism comes together, but it happens in its own way, so it remains independent. What does that mean? It just becomes a reflection. It's just a relativity point now. That is you when you're reflecting on your things in the past. When you're reflecting on things in the past, you're using your vision to see. This is you riding the light wave across the darkness in your mind. This is you bringing the light. This is you being the moonlight in the depth. Again, this is you in the moonlight bringing death. But it's just the light in the dark that brings death. Yeah. Alright, let's get some final messages. This is a deep reading, but I think we really need to understand that, like, we got 2 days left. It's the 23rd. We got the 24th and the 25th, man. And what that means is we really got to know how to cause a death to these old things. Put these old things behind us so we can, like, really move forward. Being able to always find a why, that's moving forward. Never being held back again because you know the concentration that you have for yourself at the core within. Authenticity. What's our final message? This is soul inspired, clearly sparked, clearly who you are, clearly known as you are, clearly being yourself, clearly doing the things within your capacity, understanding there's layers to yourself. There's layers to you. There's layers to this life you live. So there's layers to the demons you face as well. There's layers to all the worry of your life. There's worry that you can nurture, but there's worry into your life that you can be the villain to. This card is normally you worrying, but for some reason, I'm seeing this card today. Look at Oogie Boogie's face. To me, that he looks scared as fuck. Like, putting on the front. Just leave me alone, man. Just leave me alone. Stop fucking with me. That's what that looks like. So it looks like Jack is hunting his demons down. You got this list, and you realizing what's stopping you on this list. You're realizing what's stopping you from teaching. It's not being in the classroom. It's not being with the students. It's not being with the parents. It's not being able to be with the spiritual me. That devil that gets locked down is just the me that wants to be free. That one who can talk about math in yoga class because I got two sides of me. And then I'm balancing, so I'm feeling like I'm a tree. That means I can be all things. I can show and prove, we can tell, and we can do all of those things for ourselves immediately because that's why we're here. We're not here because we're forced to learn stuff. We're here because I want to be free. So I'm going to hunt down all these demons inside of me. I'm going to be peaceful. I'm going to be in joy with myself. I'm going to make sure that I can nurture both passions of me. The sides of me that are devils to others, and the sides of me that is a devil to my devils. My light, my freedom, that spark in me, the one that I can use to cultivate and nurture a different part of me. A part of me that brings the light in places it shouldn't. Part of me that says, damn, I didn't think I could, man. I did it. I did it again and again. And then I did it over and over. And then I stopped the things that stopped me. And then I asked myself, are you actually in? Are you internally involved? Are you influenced? Are you inspired? Are you you? Are you you? Or do you have a demon trying to control you? Seek, find, make the change, and you'll be alright. Alright, people. I appreciate y'all for being here. This is a pretty good one, pretty long one. Make sure that you are removing the things that make you feel like you're not authentic. Remove the things that make you feel like you gotta hold parts of yourself, and make sure you fill those spaces up with places that you know are good for your health. Places that'll help you see, places that'll help you be. But make sure the most important thing is that you love what you see. Alright. See you next time. Or should I take you on a little journey? Because this is called Journey. Yeah, we might do that. Yeah. Take you on a little journey. We just going on a cruise. On a little journey. Me and you. We just cruising on this journey. Trying to do what we do. I'm just a cruising on this journey. As a me, as a who, as a little me, as I do these things, making sure I see clearly the me up on the inside, all of me up on the scene. When I was a boy, step into a teen, and then I just say, oh yeah, I got my say. Yep, I like my do in any which type of way. Yes, I stumble over my words. I was a kid type of go, but nope, I'm just grown and I'm still bringing more. Even though I'm still stumbling on my talk, but nope, I keep it going like I got my walk. Hell yeah, authentically me up on this thing. Hell yeah, authentically, that's what a nigga see, that's what a nigga do, that's what I just bring to myself as I choose. I choose to be more of me on the scene as I go in search of he up on the future scene. Sometimes we'll be stumbling and bumbling, but that's okay. First rapper of the day, it's cool. But yeah, man, don't be afraid to go inside and clear up the parts of you that stops you from being more parts of yourself. Just go be yourself. Don't be worried about nothing. All right, people. I love y'all. See you next time. Peace.